Hey everybody, Brian here. I wanted to show you my latest Beatle finds, and we'll start off with this mono version of With the Beatles, and this is one of the 2014 reissues or remasters, and this one's kind of cool and a little bit rare because it was made in Germany, and I was reading that the ones that were made in Germany sound a lot better than the ones made in America, so I was really happy to pick this up. And there's the front, which looks really cool. There's the back with the foldovers there. And it's a complete reproduction of the original 1963 release. And yeah, it sounds really, really good. And, you know, I've been wanting to pick up an original copy of the mono with the Beatles, but I haven't been able to find one yet. But when I do, I will. But for now, this is a great representation of that album. And here's the actual vinyl on the Parlophone label, looking good. Side two, same thing. And of course, it's brand new, so there's no scrapes or scratches on it, and there won't be as long as I'm holding on to it. So yeah, that was the mono with the Beatles. And it sounds great, by the way. I listened to it a bunch of times. And then this past weekend, I was in Hollywood with my girlfriend and her brother. He was out here visiting, and we went to Amoeba, and I picked up this, the Lost Lennon tapes. This is volume 10, and it's got this cool picture of John on the cover there. It's an Annie Leibovitz photo. John's playing his red Stratocaster, which is pretty cool. And this is a bootleg, and there's a better shot of that. And there's the back, which is pretty cool. It's got this cartoon diagram of the cartoon John Lennon from the Beatles cartoons. And this bootleg is really cool because the sound quality is fantastic. I was really impressed with the sound quality. And the actual selections are pretty cool too. A lot of stuff I hadn't heard before. There's 3 cuts from the Imagine session. So there's a version of Imagine, a version of Crippled Inside, and a version of It's So Hard. And the version of Imagine is really cool. It's very different. It's a lot more production on it than the released version, but I really like that a lot. And then it's got 3 of these like demos that John made in 1968. One's called A Case of the Blues, which I've heard before, but it's on here. It seems like it's more complete. It's a cool song. Then there's a song called Sally and Billy, which evolved into like a Mind Games song. I think Intuition it evolved into, but on here it's called Sally and Billy, and it's kind of interesting and kind of a weird song. And then he does a cover of a Buddy Holly song called Send Me Some Lovin', and a bunch of other demos from the Sometime in New York City album. And there's his demo he did for Ringo of Only You, which is pretty cool, which is on the John Lennon Anthology. Some of this stuff was on the John Lennon Anthology. It was released later, but some of his stuff definitely was not. Anyway, I was really glad to add this to my collection. And for a bootleg, like I said, it's really, really superior sound quality. So I was happy to pick this up, and I hope to pick up some more in this collection of the John Lennon, the Lost Lennon tapes. So I was glad to get that. And then I upgraded 2 of my solo Beatles records. And I got them both at Record Outlet. And this one is Wings Wildlife, which is Paul McCartney's first album with his band Wings. And this is in really, really nice shape. In fact, it had the shrink wrap on it, but the shrink wrap was like falling off. So it was like barely hanging on to this one corner, but it was like flapping all over. So I just took it off. Normally I'll leave the shrink wrap on because I think it's cool to leave the shrink wrap on. I think it's, you know, it keeps the record in nicer shape, and it's kind of fun to see it as it would have been when you bought it in the store. But in this particular case, it just made more sense to take it off. So there's the front cover. There's the back. Got a little album write-up written by this guy named Clint Harrigan. But really, it's just Paul McCartney. He was just being silly, and he drew this picture as well. But anyway, this is in really, really good shape, and the vinyl is in good shape as well. By the way, I do have the paper sleeve inside here. A lot of people ask me, you take out your records, is there a sleeve in there? Yeah, there is. But for these videos, I just set it up so I can just take it out really quickly. So there's the paper sleeve. I'm not a reckless record collector. Don't worry. I try to keep them in really nice shape. But yeah, so this record's in super, super nice quality. And I always like these labels on the record. There we got Paul. And then here's Linda on the back. She's in like a swimming pool or something. And this is the first time that an Apple Records record didn't have the Apple label on there. I almost dropped that, but I caught it. First time it didn't have the Apple label on there, and so Paul just made these kind of custom labels, which I think are pretty cool. And I think this is a highly underrated album. It got panned very badly when it came out, but I love it. I think it's like a really funky, it's a funky record, weird, and a lot of like, it's a short album too, but it has a lot of really cool sounding stuff. And Paul's very raw on this album, so I've always been a big fan of Wings Wildlife. So there was that. This one I was really excited about. I upgraded my All Things Must Pass record by George Harrison. This is, of course, George's first solo record after the Beatles, and it's an amazing album, as I'm sure a lot of you know. And this box is in really, really good shape. I don't know, do you care about all these corners? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. I've had it for a long time. My original All Things Must Pass, but it was really beaten up, and the box was just you couldn't really even use it. In fact, I think I did. Actually, I took all the records out of the box and put them in their own little plastic sleeves so they wouldn't get damaged. But now I have this box, which is really cool. And it's in such good shape. And I'll try to show you here. See, it's got the cool inside. And all of these paper sleeves are in nice shape as well. Got the lyrics on there. I'll show you one of the records. I won't waste time showing you all of them. This happens to be side 3 and 4. Got the orange Apple label. There's the back there. Pretty cool. I have to say, I think this is probably... I love the design of this album, but I think it's also one of the most poorly designed packages I've ever seen. First of all, the records like barely fit in there. You have to like kind of squish them in there. And then this hinge right here, it's just held on with like this thin piece of like, I guess it's tape, but I don't know. But anyway, it's kind of poorly designed. So I think it's hard to find these boxes in really good shape. And so the fact that this is in like really nice quality attracted me to it, which is why I got it. Attract me like no other, as in the words of George. This is the Apple Jam disc. And that's kind of cool. I'll show you that because it's a little bit of a different label, which I think is kind of neat. It's got the Apple Jam label. So that's cool. I've only listened to this once all the way through, the Apple Jam. It's alright. It's kind of, just a jam. Nothing special. And also, which is cool, I've never had the poster before, and this came with the George poster, which is really, really cool. I've seen it before. I've seen other people who've had it, but there he is in his mansion studio that he recorded the album. Pretty cool. And I don't think I'll frame it. I'll probably just keep it in the album. As you can tell, in my room I got a lot of Beatle things framed already. I don't want to get too overboard with Beatle stuff. Although, maybe some of you would think that's impossible. And you'd be right. Because clearly, I can't get enough of the Beatles. I enjoy collecting all of the things they have to offer. And actually, tomorrow, or depending on when you're watching this, but tomorrow will be September 9th. Today's the 8th. Tomorrow, the Beatles' new remastered Live at the Hollywood Bowl album comes out on CD, and I will be picking that up. And the vinyl comes out November, I think, 18th, so I'll be getting that as well. But I'm really looking forward to that, and when I get it, I will do a review of it right here on my YouTube channel. So subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and leave some comments down below, if you have any things to add about these albums that maybe I didn't mention, or if you have any questions that I can maybe answer, I don't know. Also, I have a weekly all-vinyl radio show where I play a lot of Beatles and a lot of other just all kinds of music, different genres, from past to present, all that kind of stuff. And it's called Needle Meets Vinyl. So there's a link in the description down below. You can check that out if you want to. And that's it. I'll see you guys next time. All right.